All right, my fellow money rebels. Let us talk about something that is probably gnawing at your soul, something you feel in your bones every single day, but you cannot quite put your finger on it. It is that nagging feeling that everything, and I mean absolutely everything, is getting shittier and more expensive. Your phone, your streaming service, your groceries, even your goddamn garage door opener. Yeah, it is not just you, it is a real thing, and it has a name, insidious, coined by the brilliant Cory Doctorow. This term perfectly captures the toxic cycle, where companies start by giving you something awesome, something genuinely valuable, and then slowly, insidiously, they turn it into a steaming pile of, you know what, all in the name of profit. It is like that one friend who always borrows money, promises to pay you back, and then ghosts you. But instead of 500 bucks, it is your entire consumer experience. And let me tell you, this is not some fringe conspiracy theory. This is a cold, hard truth, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Many people ask me about the secret to making big money. I tell them the truth, but nobody believes me. The truth is, every unnecessary expense is an employee you personally fired who was supposed to be working for your money. Think about it. Facebook, remember when it was about connecting with friends and family, sharing photos, staying in touch? No, it is a wasteland of endless ads, scams, AI-generated nonsense, and posts from pages you never even followed. Your Aunt Carol is probably somewhere in that digital abyss, lost amidst the sponsored content for questionable diet pills. Uber, the savior from overpriced taxis. The innovative disruptor, they came, they conquered, they monopolized, and then they hiked up prices, paid their drivers pennies, and now, it is often more expensive than a regular cab. With zero accountability, it is like they offered you a ride to the moon, and then halfway there, they stole your oxygen tank, and charged you extra for the view. This insidious is everywhere. Physical products designed to break, everything turning into a subscription, ads shoved down your throat at every turn, absurd service fees, and marketplaces, like Amazon and Temu, drowning us in cheap knockoff garbage. I have made countless videos about how everything we buy, use, and consume is getting worse. And I am not trying to beat a dead horse here, God. That is a terrible expression. The point is, unless you have been living under a rock, you are keenly aware that we are constantly getting screwed every time we open our wallets, or leave the house, or even just breathe. But what is often missing from this infuriating conversation is the why. Why is everything going this way? It would be easy to blame it all on corporate greed, to say that Zuck just wants another yacht for his other yacht, so it does not get lonely. And to be fair, there is probably some truth to that, a tiny microscopic truth, but that is not even half the story. Insidious is not an accident. It is an inevitability. It is ingrained into the very fabric of our economy, a fundamental necessity for its function. Without it, our entire economic system, as we know it, would completely collapse. I know. That sounds absolutely insane, but that is exactly why we need to talk about it. But just before we dive deeper into this rabbit hole, let me tell you about a company that is actively fighting against this insidious culture. A company that actually makes great products built to last a lifetime. If you shave any part of your body, you know two things to be true. Number one, razor blades are stupidly expensive, like seriously, they forged in the fires of Mount Doom. And number two, even with their outrageous price tags, they irritate the hell out of your skin. It is like they are designed by sadists. Modern razors have multiple blades that drag across your skin, again and again and again, like a tiny sharp torturer, and they are angled in a way that makes you push too hard, leaving you with bumps and redness and irritation. If you are nodding your head furiously right now, then today's sponsor, Henson Shaving, is for you. They craft aerospace grade aluminum razors designed specifically to give you a clean, irritation-free shave. It is just one blade, positioned at the perfect angle for a flawless shave. No gimmicks, no marketing BS, just pure, unadulterated shaving brilliance. The razor industry literally pioneered the business model of locking you into their ecosystem. They give you a cheap razor, and then force you to buy their ridiculously expensive blade refills forever. It is like a drug dealer, but for your face. But with Henson, you buy one razor and it will last you for life. And the blades, they are like 10 cents a piece. It is absolutely wild. In a world where everyone is trying to give you less for more, companies that take pride in their work and still care about making quality products, those are the ones we need to support. Henson Shaving absolutely checks that box. So head over to hensonshaving.com according to Nicole, or use my code according to Nicole to get 100 free blades. When you purchase a razor, that is like 2 to 3 years worth of blades. Your skin and your wallet will thank you. So when you think about why a company exists, or what its purpose is, you might assume it is to sell stuff, but selling things, that is more about how they exist, not why. A company's main goal is rarely to provide a product or service, as much as it is to inflate its own value, so it can be sold either by IPOing on the stock market or by attracting private investors. Or often, both the products or services they sell, they are just a means to an end, a tool to pump up that valuation. If you look at the founder of any massive company, they made, and continue to make, the vast majority of their money, not from selling products, but from selling stakes in the company, and from the increasing value of their remaining shares. Mark Zuckerberg, for example, famously takes a $1 per year salary as Meta's CEO, but he is not some benevolent god. He is a strategic genius. The bulk of his income comes from his company shares. Zuck owns 13.6% of Meta, so despite his $1 base salary, his net worth skyrockets by tens of billions of dollars every single year. As Facebook stock continues its upward trajectory, not only does this make him exponentially richer than any hefty salary ever could, but it also comes with the glorious advantage of being untaxable. As long as he does not sell his shares, he can use them as collateral to borrow against, he can donate them to a nonprofit he owns and runs, he can pass them down to his kids, he can basically do anything with them that you would do with cash, but as long as he does not specifically sell them, they can continue to grow tax-free forever. So his primary goal is simply to keep Meta's stock price going up, by any means necessary. But this is just scratching the surface, because while I have zero sympathy for Mark Zuckerberg, or anyone like him, the truth is, he is far from the only one who benefits from increasing stock prices. All of us who invest money to any degree, anyone with a 401k, or an RSP, or a Roth IRA, or a TFSA, or any other investment account, we all need the stock prices of the companies we invest in to increase indefinitely. Compounding investments are literally how the majority of the world funds their retirements, and for stock prices to steadily increase in the long term, companies need infinite growth. If a company made $20 this year, that would be great. But if they made $20 again next year, that would be considered a flop, a stagnation, to appease shareholders, that green line. It just has to keep going up, and the only way that truly happens is for companies to consistently outdo themselves and bring in record high profits year after year after year. So let us talk about how a company can achieve that, because honestly, there are only about 3 ways to do it. The first is to acquire more customers. This means more people joining Facebook or Instagram, more people using Uber, more iPhones sold, more Hondas on the road. You get the picture. When a company is new, customer acquisition is absolutely paramount. But then, inevitably, they hit a wall. Facebook is a behemoth with about 3 billion active monthly users. Chances are the vast majority of people who want to join Facebook already have or take smartphones. Only a handful of brands control the global market. Apple and Samsung are the titans. By now, most people who want an iPhone already have one, and those who do not have probably chosen a different path for a reason. Sure, a few Samsung or Google Pixel users might jump to Apple, and vice versa, but generally speaking, Apple would struggle to significantly increase their user base at this point. So once a company becomes so dominant that they can no longer reasonably grow their customer base, the next thing they can do to generate more sales and revenue is to innovate. Let us stick with the iPhone example, because it is just so easy to follow. Apple is massive. There are hardly any new iPhone users left to convert, but if they can release amazing new products every year, they will not need new customers, because their current users will just keep buying new phones. I bought the iPhone 3G when it first came out, and I loved it, for years. Every new model was a significant leap forward, huge improvements to cameras, screens, storage. They added Siri, FaceTime, Apple Pay, all these shiny new features that enticed me to upgrade. So I did, but as we all know, and as I have ranted about countless times, innovation has stalled significantly in recent years. There is not really much else they can offer us to motivate us to drop $1,000 on a new phone, when our current one works perfectly fine. The improvements between new models now are incremental at best, and honestly, absurd at worst. You know how your phone has a camera? Well, what if it had 2 cameras? No, 3 cameras. Or hell, how about 4 cameras? Anyways, the point is, everyone who wants an iPhone has an iPhone. There is nothing new or exciting happening. That would encourage most people to buy a new one, if they already have a working device. So with that, what is the last possible thing a company can do to drive up their profits and shitify? They can do things like use OS updates to slow down your phone, or nuke your battery life. They can make your phone out of more delicate materials, so it shatters when you drop it. They can make devices cost prohibitive, or even impossible to repair, forcing you to buy a new one when something breaks. They can consistently raise their prices without any justification, basically doing whatever they can to give you less for more. And because every company does this, a boycott is not even a concern. They are all in on it. And just in case you think this is some wild conspiracy theory, Here are just a few verified examples of blatant insidious. Over the last decade, in 2016, Apple lost a $113 million fraud lawsuit, known as Batterygate, after they were caught intentionally ruining iPhone batteries via OS updates, rendering old phones useless, forcing people to upgrade. That same year, HP released a firmware update for their printers that blocked people from using off-brand ink cartridges. Pure evil. In 2019, research confirmed the long-held suspicion that Google was deliberately making their search results worse, so users have to do more searches and scroll through more pages to find what they are looking for. Why? Because the more times you search and the more pages you scroll, the more ads you see, and the more ads you see, the more money Google makes. Also in 2020, Netflix raised their prices again, while simultaneously announcing they were introducing ads to their platform, the platform whose initial appeal was specifically that it was ad-free. Then just last year, they even admitted to making movies worse on purpose. Spotify is actively suppressing real music in favor of pushing AI slop. To avoid paying royalties to artists, almost every software we used to buy once and own forever is now a monthly subscription. And if we stop paying, we lose access, no matter how much we have already spent. And even my damn garage door opener now needs an app to work, and it is full of ads, despite costing me $400. So basically, regardless of what you do now, you get scammed. We have $2,000 unrepairable phones made of glass that explode the first time they hit the floor and require a $165 service call just to replace the battery. We have expensive TVs and home appliances that only last 5 to 7 years and cost more to repair than to replace. We have $50,000 cars that barely make it to 100,000 miles. We have streaming services that cost as much, or more, than cable ever did, and have twice as many ads. We buy groceries that come in smaller and smaller packages, with shittier and shittier ingredients, but they cost more every time we buy them. Everything is being insidified, but the stock market, it just keeps rising, just like it is supposed to, and I hate to say it, with a maxed out consumer base, and nothing left to innovate. Insidification is a necessity, but all of this really just goes to show how truly screwed our economic system is. As I said, this is not about giving the oligarchs an easy out, because honestly, that is the last thing I would ever want to do. But it is about everyday people like you and me, and our parents, and our grandparents, who rely on investments to build financial stability and to fund our eventual retirements. No one but the highest earners could ever afford to retire.